Persian Gulf, February 1991. The water is black. Not the soft darkness of night, but the absolute black of 20 feet beneath the surface where light dies and only pressure remains. The cold seeps through the wetsuit in slow degrees, a patient predator that knows it has time. Commander Sarah Mitchell is 28 years old. She has been underwater for 43 minutes. Her oxygen supply will last another 17. The mission parameters allow for 65 minutes total. She is ahead of schedule. The Mk-15 rebreather on her chest hisses softly with each breath. Carbon dioxide scrubber working perfectly. Oxygen mixture at 1.4 partial pressure. All systems nominal. Her mind catalogs these facts with the same mechanical precision as the equipment itself. There is no room for emotion at depth. Emotion consumes oxygen. Emotion kills. Above her, invisible in the blackness, the hull of an Iraqi patrol boat sits motionless. The boat has been there for 4 minutes. Its diesel engine idles with a low thrum that vibrates through the water column. Sarah can feel it in her teeth. Her team hangs motionless around her. 4 bodies suspended in the cold Gulf water, like ghosts. Navy SEALs don't move when movement means death. They wait. They control their breathing. They become part of the ocean itself. To her left, 22-year-old Petty Officer Robert Jackson is breathing too fast. Sarah can hear it even underwater. The slight change in rhythm, the acceleration of bubbles from his rebreather. She has been watching him since they entered the water. This is his 3rd combat dive. He is skilled but still learning to manage fear. The patrol boat's engine revs slightly. Someone aboard shifts position. The sound of footsteps on metal decking carries through the water with crystal clarity. Sarah's hand moves in the darkness, finds Jackson's arm. She squeezes once. The signal is simple. Steady. Breathe. Wait. Jackson's breathing doesn't slow. It accelerates. Sarah feels the tension in his body through the water itself. He is approaching panic. Panic will make he surface. Surfacing will compromise the mission. 4 SEALs exposed in hostile waters 6 miles inside enemy territory, 20 limpet mines already attached to moored boats in the naval base behind them. Surfacing means capture or death. Sarah releases Jackson's arm. Her hand finds his face, his dive mask. She turns his head slowly until he is facing her. In the absolute darkness, neither can see the other. But the contact matters, the human connection. She places her palm flat against his chest, feels his heart hammering against his ribs. Then she places his hand on her chest. Her heart rate is 58 beats per minute. Resting rate. Calm. She breathes in slowly. 4 seconds. Holds for 4 seconds. Exhales for 4 seconds. The rhythm transfers through the water, through their hands, through their shared darkness. Jackson's breathing begins to slow. His heart rate drops. The panic recedes like a tide pulling back from shore. Sarah keeps her hand on his chest until his rhythm matches hers. 58 beats per minute. The rhythm of survival. The rhythm of discipline over fear. The patrol boat's engine rises to a whine. The propeller engages with a churning roar that floods the water with noise. The boat moves, slowly at first, then faster. The sound doppels away into the distance until only the cold and the darkness remain. Sarah signals. The team moves as one. They have a mission to complete. 40 minutes later, they surface 3 miles offshore. The extraction boat is waiting. Sarah is the last one up. She always is. Jackson pulls himself aboard, strips his mask, looks back at her. His eyes carry a question he doesn't need to speak. "How did you stay so calm?" he asks finally. Sarah pulls herself up, water streaming from her wetsuit. She doesn't answer immediately. She checks her equipment first, unclips her rebreather, tests the seals. Everything is done in proper sequence. Always. Then she looks at Jackson. Her eyes are gray, flat, patient. "Panic kills," she says. "Discipline saves. Remember that." Fort Carson, Colorado, present day. The rental sedan kicks up dust as it turns onto the access road. The base sprawls across the high desert like a small city. Barracks, training facilities, vehicle depots, ranges. The infrastructure of military readiness under the hard Colorado sun. Sarah Mitchell is 48 years old now. 20 years have passed since the Persian Gulf. 30 years of missions that don't officially exist. 30 years of proving herself in a world designed to make her fail, and then 15 years of trying to forget. She parks in the visitor lot. The sedan is anonymous. Silver. 4 doors, the kind of car that disappears in any parking lot. She chose it deliberately. Everything Sarah does is deliberate. Her clothing is civilian. Jeans, simple button-down shirt. No jewelry. No makeup. Her hair is pulled back in a tight bun. Gray threads the brown now. She doesn't color it. Vanity is a luxury operators don't have. The duffel bag in her trunk is military issue. Olive drab canvas. The kind that has seen continents and survived. She hefts it onto one shoulder with practiced ease. 65 pounds, light for her. The base check-in is in a modular building that looks temporary despite being 15 years old. Inside, a young clerk sits behind bulletproof glass. He's maybe 23, fresh uniform. Name tape reads Morrison. "Can I help you?" Oh, he doesn't look up from his computer. Sarah Mitchell, checking in. Morrison types something, frowns, types again. "You're not in the system." Check civilian contractors. More typing. His frown deepens. "Oh, here you are, contractor badge. You'll need to use the south entrance for access. Contractors aren't authorized for main facilities." Sarah doesn't correct him. She takes the badge. It's laminated plastic on a lanyard. The photo is from her application 3 weeks ago. She looks tired in it. She was tired. She'd been trying to sleep and failing for months before the orders came. "South entrance," Morrison repeats. "Around the building. You can't miss it." "Thank you." She takes the south entrance, past the dumpsters and the loading dock, past the place where things and people who don't quite belong enter the machinery of military life. The door is unmarked. She swipes her badge. The lock clicks. She enters. Inside the base is organized chaos. Soldiers moving with purpose. Vehicles being maintained. The constant low hum of activity that never stops. Sarah walks through it like a ghost. No one looks at her. No one sees her. This is a skill she has perfected. Being present but invisible. Being there but not there. The billeting office is in Building C. The specialist behind the desk is more polite than Morrison, but no more interested. He has a clipboard, a map, a tired expression. Mitchell Sarah, contractor, logistics consultation. He checks boxes as he speaks. "You're in Barracks 12. Old side, solo quarters." He hands her a key. Actual metal key, not a card. That tells her everything about the quality of her assigned housing. 12 is the brick building past the motor pool. Can't miss it. Everyone keeps telling her she can't miss things, as if she hasn't spent 20 years finding things that were designed to be impossible to find. Barracks 12 is brick. The paint is peeling in long strips. One window has a cracked spider webbing across the glass. The building looks like it was constructed in 1970 and last renovated never. Her room is on the second floor. The key sticks in the lock. She has to jiggle it twice before it turns. The door scrapes against the frame as it opens. Inside, one bunk, one desk, one chair, one locker, one window with the cracked glass. The walls are cinder block, painted institutional beige. The floor is linoleum that was probably white once, but has yellowed with age and neglect. Sarah sets her duffel on the bunk. She doesn't unpack immediately. First, she surveys. Old habits. She checks the window. The lock is broken. She checks the door. The frame is solid, but the lock is basic. She checks the walls. No listening devices. No cameras. Just an old cinder block and 30 years of paint. Then she unpacks. Everything has a place. Uniforms folded with crisp creases. Boots placed side by side, toes aligned. Toiletries arranged by size. The ritual of organization is soothing. It imposes order on chaos. It creates control in an environment designed to strip control away. From the bottom of her duffel wrapped in an oilcloth, she removes a piece of equipment. It's a MX-15 rebreather, the same model from the Persian Gulf, 30 years old, maintained to a standard that exceeds military specification. Every seal tested, every mechanism oiled, every component perfect. She places it carefully in the bottom of her locker, covers it with spare clothes. Beneath the rebreather, also wrapped in oilcloth, is a photograph. 5 people, 1991, SEAL Team Golf. They're young in the photo, confident, unaware of what the next 20 years will take from them. 3 of the faces have been marked with red X, marker on photographic paper. Gone. Killed in action across 2 decades of operations that don't officially exist. Car bomb in Beirut. Training accident that wasn't an accident in Virginia Beach. Cancer from burn pit exposure in Iraq. 2 faces remain unmarked. Sarah and Robert Jackson. She touches Jackson's face in the photo. He's 22, shared but hiding it. The same kid who almost panicked under that patrol boat. The same kid she steadied in the darkness. "Stay alive, Jackson," she whispers to the photo. Then she places it in her locker, closes the door, spins the combination lock. She sits on the bunk. The mattress is thin. She can feel the springs through it. For a moment, just a moment, the careful mask she wears slips. Her shoulders sag. Her hands shake slightly. The exhaustion of the past 3 months settles on her like a physical weight. Then she stands, squares her shoulders. The mask returns. She has work to do. From her pocket, she removes an envelope. It's marked confidential in red letters. The seal is already broken. She broke it 3 weeks ago when it arrived via courier at her home in North Carolina. Inside are orders, typed on official Naval Special Warfare Command letterhead. Commander Sarah L. Mitchell, USN Raton, reactivation orders. Title 10, authority classified. Eyes only. She reads them again. She has memorized every word, but she reads anyway. The ritual matters. Mission brief. Fort Carson Combat Swimmer Program has experienced catastrophic failure rate. 3 recent graduates killed in field operations. 2 captured, all within 8 months. Suspected training deficiencies. Objective conduct. Covert evaluation of training protocols. Identify systemic failures. Report findings to WARCOM within 6 weeks. Cover civilian logistics contractor. Senior diving equipment consultant. Low visibility, minimum interaction with command staff. Authority, full access to training facilities. Observation authority only. No command authority unless cover compromised. Classification. This mission does not officially exist. All findings to be reported via secure channel only. Sarah's official file at Fort Carson lists her as a logistics contractor. Her real file, the one buried under 6 layers of classification, tells a different story. 20 years Naval Special Warfare Development Group, 189 direct action missions, 3 Navy Crosses, 2 Silver Stars, Bronze Star with V device, Purple Heart. The woman who almost choked out in a changing room is also the woman who has completed more successful combat missions than anyone currently serving in DevGru. But no one at Fort Carson knows that. That's the point. She stands, walks to the small desk, no computer, no phone line, just a scarred wooden surface and a broken chair. From her duffel, she removes a Panasonic Toughbook laptop, military-grade ruggedized, encrypted hard drive, satellite modem. She opens it, boots it. The screen glows blue in the dim room. She opens a text file, types a single line. Arrival confirmed. Cover intact. Evaluation beginning. She encrypts the file, routes it through 3 proxy servers, sends it via SIPR network. The message will reach Naval Special Warfare Command in Virginia Beach in approximately 40 seconds. No one at Fort Carson will know it was sent. Then she opens another file. This one is not encrypted. This one she will need to access quickly. She titles it Observations, Day 1. The cursor blinks on a blank page. Waiting. Sarah walks to the window. The cracked glass distorts the view, but she can see the training yard below. Soldiers running drills, the constant motion of military preparation. From this distance, they all look the same. Young, strong, confident. From this distance, she can't see the cracks, the deficiencies, the gaps in their training that will get them killed. That's why she's here. She watches for 10 minutes, memorizing patterns, noting inefficiencies. Then she returns to the laptop, begins typing. The evaluation has begun. But Sarah doesn't know yet that someone else is watching too. Someone who has been waiting for her arrival. Someone who knows exactly who she is. Someone who has spent 6 years planning revenge. In another building 200 yards away, a man named Marcus Webb sits at a computer terminal. His screen shows a live feed from the billeting database. He watches Sarah Mitchell's check-in information populate the system, her building assignment, her room number, her cover story. He smiles. It's not a pleasant expression. Webb's fingers fly across the keyboard. He opens an encrypted messaging app, types a brief message to a contact saved only as Asset 7. Target confirmed on base. Proceed to Phase 1. He hits send. The message disappears into the digital void. 3 buildings away in the junior enlisted barracks, a phone buzzes. Sergeant Dean Rawlings picks it up, reads the message. His jaw tightens. He looks at the attached file. It's a photo. A woman. Late 40s. Gray in her hair. Nothing remarkable about her appearance. The message below the photo is brief. Observe and report. Subject is potential security risk. Payment on confirmation. Rawlings stares at the photo. He doesn't know who this woman is. But $5,000 is $5,000. And if she's a security risk, then watching her is patriotic duty. Right? He forwards the message to 2 of his squad mates, Specialist Owen Fisher, Specialist Brian Davis. The 3 of them are tight. They watch each other's backs. Got a tasking, need your eyes on this, drinks later. Both respond within seconds. Affirmative, roger that, they're in. None of them know they've just become pawns in someone else's game. None of them know that the woman in the photo has forgotten more about warfare than they'll ever learn. None of them know that Marcus Webb is using them to settle a score that goes back 6 years. And Sarah, sitting in her room 200 yards away, doesn't know any of this yet. But she will. Because the first rule of survival is simple. Trust no one. Assume compromise. Stay alert. She's been following that rule for 30 years. It's kept her alive. The training yard is a rectangle of packed dirt and concrete. Obstacles course on one end. Shooting range on the other. In between, soldiers drill. The morning sun is low and orange, casting long shadows that stretch across the ground like dark fingers. Sarah stands at the fence line, clipboard in hand, safety glasses, high visibility vest that marks her as contractor. Official, authorized to observe, not authorized to interfere. She looks like every other civilian contractor on every other military base. Forgettable. On the range, a squad runs close quarters battle drills. She recognizes the layout. Shoot house mock-up. 4 rooms, multiple entry points, designed to simulate urban combat, the kind of environment where hesitation kills and overconfidence kills faster. The squad leader is obvious, taller than the others, broader. He moves with aggressive confidence. His name tape reads Rawlings, sergeant stripes on his sleeve. He's 29, maybe 30. College football build, the kind of man who learned early that size and strength open doors. Rawlings stacks his team at the entry point, hand signals. They breach. Flashbang toss through the door. Entry, pop, pop, pop of sim rounds. They clear the first room in 8 seconds. Sarah's eyes don't watch the action. They watch the technique. Rawlings' footwork is sloppy. He telegraphs his movements. His weapon comes up too slow. He's strong enough that it doesn't matter in training. But in real combat against a trained enemy, that half-second delay means a bullet in the chest. Behind him, Specialist Fisher hesitates in the doorway. Fatal error. The doorway is the kill zone. You move through it fast, or you die in it. Fisher pauses for nearly a full second before entering. Sarah makes a note. The third man, Specialist Davis, talks. She can hear him even from the fence line. Calling out positions, announcing his movements. In training, communication is important. In real combat, silence is survival. Davis would give away his position to every enemy within 50 yards. They clear the shoot house in 42 seconds. Not terrible, not good. Acceptable for a peacetime unit that has never seen real combat. Unacceptable for combat swimmers who will operate behind enemy lines where mistakes are measured in body bags. The senior instructor calls time. Sergeant First Class Patterson. He's 50-something. Soft around the middle, he claps Rawlings on the shoulder. Good work, Sergeant. Solid time. Textbook entry. Sarah writes in her notebook, instructor standards insufficient, reinforcing bad habits. No correction of fundamental errors. She's been here 6 hours. She's already identified 3 systemic failures. This is going to be a long 6 weeks. Rawlings and his team remove their safety gear. They're laughing, confident. Rawlings says something, and the others laugh harder. The camaraderie of soldiers who have trained together, who trust each other, who have never been tested by real violence. Sarah knows that laugh. She's heard it 1,000 times, from soldiers who thought they were ready, from men who believed their strength and their training would protect them, from kids who died 6 months later in places whose names they couldn't pronounce. She makes another note: overconfidence, peacetime arrogance, will be shocked when confronted with real standards. Then she leaves. She has seen enough. The equipment room is in the basement of the dive facility. Concrete floors, metal shelves floor to ceiling, the smell of neoprene and salt and chlorine. Wetsuits hang like shed skins. Regulators and gauges sorted by type. Weights stacked in pyramids. Sarah enters with a requisition form. She needs to test the pool facility tonight, run her own evaluation dive, establish baseline standards for equipment and environment. The clerk on duty is young, maybe 20. Name tape Rogers. He's reading a manual on dive computer programming. Looks up when she enters. "Help you, ma'am." Sarah hands him the form. Rogers scans it. His eyebrows rise. This is, this is advanced equipment. MK-15 rebreather. Mixed gas, deep dive weights. He looks up at her. "Are you sure you need all this?" "I'm sure. It's just, most contractors requisition basic gear. Pool noodles, fins. This is combat swimmer equipment." "I'm aware." Roger shifts uncomfortably. "I'll need authorization from—" The door opens behind Sarah. She doesn't turn. She hears 3 sets of footsteps. Heavy, male, moving with the loose confidence of men in their own territory. "Well, well." The voice is deep, amused. "What do we have here?" Sarah turns. Rawlings, Fisher, Davis. They're in PT gear, t-shirts dark with sweat. They've just finished a workout. The smell of exertion fills the small space. Rawlings sees her clipboard, sees the requisition form in Roger's hand. His eyes narrow. "You lost, ma'am. The pit is on the other side of base." Sarah meets his eyes. Gray on brown. "I'm exactly where I need to be, Sergeant." Rawlings steps closer. Not threatening. Not yet. But establishing dominance through proximity. Male primate behavior. Sarah has seen it 10,000 times. She doesn't react. "Rogers, what's she requisitioning?" Rawlings asks without breaking eye contact with Sarah. Rogers looks between them. Uncomfortable. Advanced rebreather equipment, Sarge. Mixed gas. The works." Rawlings laughs. It's not a kind sound. "Someone's filling out the wrong forms." He looks at Sarah. "This is combat swimmer gear. You don't look like a combat swimmer." Sarah doesn't answer. She holds his gaze. The silence stretches. Rawlings' smile fades. He's not used to being ignored. Not used to women who don't react to his size, his rank, his confidence. "Let me help you with something simpler," he says. His voice has an edge now. "Maybe pool noodles, kickboard, something more your speed." Behind him, Fisher and Davis snicker. The sound of men who follow their leader, who laugh at his jokes, who reinforce his worldview. Sarah turns back to Rogers. "I need the equipment by 1800 hours." "But," Rogers starts, 1800 hours. Her voice is flat, patient, final. Rogers looks at Rawlings. Rawlings is staring at Sarah with something between confusion and anger. A woman just dismissed him. In front of his men. That doesn't happen. "Give her the equipment," Rawlings says suddenly. "Let her figure it out." Rogers nods, stamps the requisition, hands Sarah a copy. "Ready by 1800, ma'am." "Ma'am." Sarah takes the paper, leaves without another word. She doesn't look back at Rawlings, doesn't acknowledge the challenge in his eyes. She simply walks out. Behind her, she hears Davis whisper, "Who the hell was that?" Rawlings' response is low, angry. "Nobody, just another contractor who thinks she knows something." But Sarah heard something else in his voice, something he probably didn't recognize himself: uncertainty. He expected a reaction and got none, expected deference and got dismissed. That troubles him. Good. The seeds are planted. Sarah walks through the corridor. Her footsteps echo on the concrete. She makes a mental note, Rawlings. Sergeant, overconfident, untested, responds poorly to challenges. Potential problem. She doesn't know yet how right she is. The changing room is separate from the men's facility, required by regulation, a small concession to biology in a world designed by and for men. The space is utilitarian. Lockers, benches, showers, a tampon dispenser bolted to the wall. No windows, one security camera in the corner, red light blinking. Sarah enters alone. She has her dive equipment in a mesh bag. The rebreather, mixed gas tanks, wetsuit, fins, macking, weight belt, everything needed for a technical dive in the 25-meter pool next door. She changes methodically, removes her civilian clothes, folds them, places them in a locker, each item placed with precision, each motion deliberate, the ritual of preparation. Sports bra, dive shorts. She lays out her equipment in order of deployment. Wetsuit first, tank harness, weight belt, fins last. She checks every seal on the rebreather, tests the oxygen sensor, verifies the carbon dioxide scrubber is fresh. Her fingers move with practice speed, muscle memory from 10,000 dives. She's checking the regulator when the door opens behind her. Male voices, loud, 3 sets of footsteps. Sarah doesn't turn. She continues her equipment check. The regulator hisses as she tests pressure. Reads good. Oh shit, Fisher's voice. Young, nervous. Sarge, this is, I can read. Rawlings, slurred slightly. They've been drinking. This is the women's facility. Sarah turns slowly. Rawlings, Fisher, Davis. They're in civilian clothes. Rawlings holds 3 bottles of beer, one empty, the other 2 half full. His eyes are bright with alcohol and something else. Aggression, the need to prove something. You're in the wrong facility, Sergeant. Sarah's voice is calm, flat. The men's changing room is next door. Rawlings looks around, sees the tampon dispenser, the different locker configuration. Reality registers on his face. He's made a mistake, but his pride won't let him acknowledge it. We were here first. He sets the beers down on a bench. You can wait outside. Sarah returns to her equipment check, ignores him. The dismissal is complete and deliberate. Hey, Rawlings' voice rises. I'm talking to you. Sarah picks up her dive mask, inspects the seal, finds a microscopic crack, rejects it, reaches for her backup mask. I said I'm talking to you. Rawlings crosses the space in 3 strides. His hand grabs her shoulder, spins her around. The touch is a violation. Aggressive, meant to intimidate, meant to establish dominance, meant to make her react with fear. Sarah looks at his hand on her shoulder, then at his face. Her expression doesn't change. Gray eyes flat as winter sky. Remove your hands, Sergeant. Or what? He squeezes harder. You'll file a complaint. Tell my CO you're a contractor. Nobody. You don't belong here. You're taking up space real operators need. Sarah's eyes flicker to the corner of the room. The security camera. Red light blinking. Recording everything. She makes a mental note of the timestamp. 1647 Zulu. Then she looks back at Rawlings. I see. 2 words, that's all. No anger, no fear, just acknowledgement. She sees him. She understands what he is. And that understanding is somehow more devastating than any insult could be. Rawlings' face flushes red. The alcohol and his pride mix into something toxic. Say something, fight back. Do something. But Sarah just looks at him, measuring, calculating, recording. You don't belong here, Rawlings says again. His voice is desperate now. He needs her to react, needs her to confirm his worldview. You're useless. He shoves her. Hard, 2 hands to her shoulders, meant to knock her back, meant to make her stumble, meant to prove his strength and her weakness. Sarah's feet don't move. Her core is solid as steel. She absorbs the impact without displacement, barely rocks back on her heels, then returns to neutral. It's like he shoved a wall. Rawlings stares. That it should have worked. She should have stumbled, should have fallen, should have reacted. but she's standing there like he didn't touch her at all. The uncertainty in his eyes hardens into rage. Useless, he snarls. Then his hands are around her throat. Two-handed frontal choke. Thumbs on her windpipe. Fingers laced behind her neck. Classic aggression. Classic dominance. Classic mistake. Fisher and Davis freeze. Sarge, Fisher starts. Shut up. Rawlings squeezes harder. Sarah's mind doesn't register fear. It registers data. Pressure on windpipe 6 pounds per square inch. Survivable for 3 minutes. His grip strong but static. No adaptation. His balance 70% weight forward. Left foot slightly advanced. Right elbow elevated. Her combat computer runs through options in microseconds. 17 ways to break the choke. 14 ways to cause permanent damage. 3 ways to kill him. She chooses none of them. Instead, her left hand rises, slow, controlled. It cups his right elbow. Placement not grabbing. Her right hand finds his left wrist. Again, just placement. No force. Just contact with the pressure point on the inside of his wrist. Then she pivots. 15 degrees at the hips. 25 degrees at the shoulders. She doesn't pull. She redirects. Uses his own forward momentum. His own committed weight. Rawlings' balance evaporates. His grip loosens instinctively as his body tries to correct. But Sarah is already guiding him past her, using his own strength, his own aggression, his own forward pressure. He stumbles, falls forward, crashes into the lockers with a hollow clang that echoes through the room. Total time, 1.4 seconds. Sarah's hands never formed fists, never struck. She simply moved, and his own momentum did the rest. She stands in the same spot, her breathing unchanged, 58 beats per minute. She adjusts her collar, a small, precise motion. Then she picks up her equipment bag. Rawlings spins around. His face is pale, shocked, humiliated. He looks at his hands like they betrayed him. How did she? But Sarah is already walking to the door. She doesn't run, doesn't hurry, just walks. Even, measured, professional. Wait, Rawlings starts. The door closes behind her with a soft hiss. Hydraulic. Final. The 3 men stand in the women's changing room, stunned, confused, unable to process what just happened. Fisher sees something on the floor. Rawlings' phone. It fell from his pocket when he hit the lockers. The screen is cracked but visible. A text message thread. Open. Before Rawlings can grab it, Fisher's eyes scan the visible text. Unknown number subject is female late 40s, assigned as contractor. Confirmed low threat profile. Rawlings confirmed. Target is non-issue. Desk jockey, unknown number maintain cover. Phase 2 proceeds as planned. Fisher looks at Rawlings. Sarge, what the hell is this? Rawlings snatches the phone. Nothing. Training exercise. Shut up about it. But Davis saw it too. You're being paid to watch someone. This some kind of... I said shut up, Rawlings' voice cracks. We don't talk about this. To anyone. Understand? They nod, but the seed of doubt is planted. Rawlings stares at the door where Sarah exited. His hands are shaking. Not from fear, from the realization that he just made a catastrophic mistake. He assaulted someone who moved like a trained operator. No, impossible. She's just a contractor, just a logistics consultant, just an old woman in the wrong place. But his body remembers the way she moved, the precision, the control. That wasn't luck. That was training. Decades of training. Who the hell is she? Sarah's quarters are dark when she returns. She doesn't turn on the lights. Darkness is an old friend. 30 years of night operations have taught her that darkness reveals more than it conceals. In darkness, you see threats before they see you. In darkness, you hear what daylight drowns out. She sits at the small desk, opens her laptop. The screen glows blue in the blackness. Her fingers move across the keyboard with mechanical precision. She types 5 lines, no more, no less. Incident report, 1647Z, location, women's changing facility, B7 personnel, SGT, Rawlings D SPC, Fisher O, SPC Davis, B action. Verbal confrontation escalated to physical contact. Two-handed frontal choke applied by SGT Rawlings. Threat neutralized via minimal force joint control and off-balance maneuver. Evidence security camera footage. Timestamp 147-665E1Z. She reads it once, saves it, timestamps it. The file is clinical, emotionless, a medical examiner's report on violence. No mention of fear because there was no fear. No mention of anger because there was no anger. Just facts, just data, just the mechanical recording of a system malfunction. Then she opens a second document, encrypts it. This one will not go through official channels. This one routes through SIPR network directly to Naval Special Warfare Command in Virginia Beach. OPSEC potential breach. SGT, Rawlings observed with suspicious communication on personal device. Unknown contact reference target and phase 2. Recommend immediate background investigation. Cover may be compromised. She attaches a screenshot description of what she saw on Rawlings' phone. The messages, the timestamps, the implications. She sends both files. The official report goes to Lieutenant Commander Hayes' inbox. The encrypted warning goes to Warcom. 2 different audiences, 2 different purposes. One woman protecting herself through proper channels. One operator identifying a potential threat to mission security. Then she closes the laptop, sits in the darkness, and for the first time in 30 years, her hands shake. Not from fear, from rage, pure, clean cold. She has been shot at in 12 countries. She has been captured and escaped twice. She has jumped from aircraft at 30,000 feet and swum under polar ice. She has done things that would earn lesser soldiers medals and greater soldiers court-martials. And through it all, she maintained control, maintained discipline, maintained the mask. But being choked in a changing room by a drunk sergeant who thinks she's useless cuts deeper than any bullet ever could. Because it's not about the violence. Sarah has endured violence. It's about the disrespect, the assumption, the casual dismissal of everything she is based on what she appears to be. She closes her eyes, breathes. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold. 4 seconds out. The rhythm her body knows. The rhythm she taught Jackson 30 years ago in the black water of the Persian Gulf. 58 beats per minute, calm, control, discipline. The shaking stops. She opens her locker, removes the photograph. 5 faces, 3 marked with red X. She studies Jackson's young face, 22 years old, terrified underwater, steadied by her hand on his chest. Tomorrow, she whispers to the photo. Tomorrow they'll see. She returns the photo to in its place, closes the locker, lies down on the bunk, still fully clothed, closes her eyes, and sleeps without dreaming for exactly 4 hours. Another skill learned through necessity. Sleep when you can. Wake when you must. Control even unconsciousness. At midnight in another building 200 yards away, Marcus Webb is still awake. His computer screen shows multiple open windows, security camera feeds, personnel files, communication intercepts. He's been monitoring Sarah's movements since she arrived, watching, waiting, planning. The changing room footage plays on loop. He watches Sarah absorb Rawlings' shove, watches her redirect his choke with impossible precision, watches her walk away like nothing happened. He plays it 5 times, then 10, watching for weakness, finding none. His phone buzzes, a message from Rawlings. Something's wrong. She moved like a trained operator. Who is she really? Webb smiles, types his response. She's nobody, a logistics contractor. You're overreacting, but file a complaint anyway. Make it official. Claim she attacked you. Get ahead of it. 3 dots appear. Rawlings is typing, then they disappear, then appear again. Finally, the response. Are you sure this feels wrong? Webb's smile fades. Rawlings is developing a conscience, problematic. He types quickly, you already put hands on her. Video proves it. Only way to protect yourself is to establish that she was the aggressor. File the complaint first. Control the narrative. Unless you want a court-martial's long pause. Then, okay, we'll file tomorrow morning. Webb closes the chat, leans back in his chair. Everything is proceeding. Sarah Mitchell destroyed his career 6 years ago when she testified against him. Called him a traitor, a leak. Said he got 2 SEALs killed by sharing operational details with a journalist. She was right, of course. But being right doesn't matter. What matters is revenge. He pulls up Sarah's real service record. The classified one, the one that shows who she actually is. 189 missions, 3 Navy crosses, 20 years in the most elite unit in American military history, a legend hidden behind a logistics contractor cover story. Webb knows about the evaluation mission. He has access to systems he shouldn't have access to. He's been selling training protocols to foreign buyers for 18 months. Small details, dive procedures, entry techniques. Nothing that would trigger an investigation. Just enough to make money and satisfy his need to hurt the institution that hurt him. But Sarah Mitchell showing up means someone suspects something, means his operation is at risk. So she has to be discredited, removed, destroyed, before she figures out what he's doing. Rawlings is just a tool, a blunt instrument, useful for creating chaos. But tomorrow the real test comes, the dive qualification. Webb has seen Sarah's old performance records, knows what she's capable of. So he's sabotaged the video footage, made sure the changing room assault video is corrupted, made sure that when Rawlings files his false complaint, there will be no immediate evidence to contradict him. It's a good plan, it should work. But Webb feels uneasy because he's watched that changing room footage 10 times, and every time he sees the same thing. Sarah Mitchell is not afraid, and people who are not afraid are dangerous. He closes his laptop. Tomorrow everything changes. Day 3, Euro 5:30 hours. The chow hall smells like industrial coffee and reconstituted eggs. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. Soldiers fill plastic trays with food that is nutritious and joyless in equal measure. The room hums with conversation, morning rituals, complaints about PT, plans for the day, the endless white noise of military life. Sarah enters alone, takes a tray, oatmeal, black coffee, 1 banana, exact portions. She has eaten this same breakfast for 30 years. Her body is a machine. Machines need fuel. Taste is irrelevant. She scans the room, identifies exits, counts personnel, old habits. She sees Rawlings at a corner table with Fisher and Davis. They're talking in low voices. Rawlings looks tired, stressed. Good. Stress reveals truth. Sarah moves toward an empty table near the window. But as she approaches the 2 soldiers already seated there, suddenly remember they need to be somewhere else. They grab their trays. Leave without looking at her. The message is clear. She is contaminated, toxic, to be avoided. She sits anyway. Eats methodically. Oatmeal first, then coffee, then banana. In order. Always in order. Around her whispers. She can't hear the words, but she knows the shape of them. Rawlings has been busy. The rumor mill is grinding. By now the story has spread like smoke through the barracks. Some older woman attacked Rawlings, went crazy, unstable, dangerous. Affirmative action higher gone wrong. The story grows in the telling until it bears no resemblance to truth. But truth is not the point. The story is the point, the narrative. And Rawlings is controlling the narrative. Sarah finishes her coffee, returns her tray, leaves. She does not defend herself, does not explain, does not engage. She simply continues. The mission matters, the gossip does not. Outside the chow hall, a voice calls out, "Master Chief Mitchell." She turns. An older man approaches, 60s. Gray hair cropped, military short, weathered face that speaks of decades in sun and salt water. He wears instructor insignia, Master Gunnery Sergeant stripes, name tape Jackson. Sarah recognizes him instantly. Robert Jackson, 22 years old in 1991, scared kid under a patrol boat in the Persian Gulf, now 42, retired soon, but still here, still teaching. Gunny Jackson. She doesn't smile, but her voice carries recognition. "Never thought I'd see you again," Jackson says. His voice is rough, decades of shouting over engines and waves, especially not here. Small Navy? The hell it is. He steps closer, lowers his voice. "I heard what happened yesterday. The changing room, Rawlings running his mouth. Rumors spread. It's not rumors if it's true." Jackson studies her face. "You're not here for logistics consultation." I've been doing this job 42 years. I know operators when I see them, even ones pretending to be contractors. Sarah doesn't confirm or deny, just waits. Jackson nods. That's what I thought. Look, I don't know what your real mission is, and I don't need to know. But I know Rawlings. He's a problem. Good soldier in peacetime. But he's got ego issues. And someone's been feeding him information, asking questions about the program, about security, about personnel. Someone, civilian contractor, IT specialist, name's Webb, Marcus Webb, works for Redstone Technical. He's been asking Rawlings about new instructors, about evaluations, about you specifically since yesterday. Sarah files the name. Marcus Webb, IT specialist, asking questions. The pieces start forming a pattern. Thank you, Gunny. Don't thank me yet. Jackson pulls out a data pad, shows her a schedule. Mandatory dive qualification today. Entire unit, no exceptions. Captain's orders. You're on the roster. Sarah scans the schedule, sees her name, sees Rawlings' name, sees the timing. This is not coincidence. This is orchestration. Someone wants her to perform, wants to see what she can do, or wants to see her fail. What are the parameters, she asks. Jackson tells her. 25-meter pool, zero visibility navigation, mock mine disarmament, confined space rescue, equipment failure recovery, standard combat swimmer quals, the kind of test that separates pretenders from professionals. Rawlings' team is up first, Jackson says. They're confident. They think they're good. He pauses. Are they? No. Didn't think so. Jackson hands her the data pad. You'll go last, after everyone else. Every eye in the unit will be on you by then, especially after Rawlings tells everyone his version of yesterday. I understand. Do you? Jackson's eyes are sharp, because this isn't just a qual. This is a statement. Either you prove you belong here or you prove Rawlings right. No middle ground. Sarah hands back the data pad. Gunny, do you remember the Persian Gulf, 1991? Every day. Do you remember what I told you when you panicked? Jackson's jaw tightens. Panic kills. Discipline saves. That's still true. Then, now, always. She turns to leave. Pauses. And Gunny, I'm not here to prove I belong. I'm here to establish the standard. She walks away. Jackson watches her go. For a moment, he sees the 28-year-old operator who saved his life 3 decades ago. The woman who stayed calm when he lost control. The legend he thought was lost to retirement in time. He smiles, then pulls out his phone, sends a text to the other dive instructors. Clear the gallery. Everyone watches this qual. Everyone. Whatever happens today will become legend. He wants witnesses. 0700 hours. Dive facility. The pool is a concrete rectangle sunk into the ground, 25 meters deep. Temperature controlled to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The cold serves a purpose. Cold tests discipline. Cold reveals weakness. Cold separates those who control their bodies from those whose bodies control them. Around the pool, bleachers have been erected, normally empty during quals. Today they're filling. Word has spread. Something is happening. The rumor mill has created anticipation. Everyone wants to see the woman who allegedly attacked Rawlings. Everyone wants to see if she's as good as Jackson claims. Everyone wants to be there when she succeeds or fails. Sarah arrives in her vintage wetsuit, 1990s era. Patches from old missions sewn onto the shoulders. SEAL Team Golf insignia. Desert Storm campaign patch. Afghanistan, Iraq, Bosnia. The suit is a history book written in fabric and rubber. The other divers notice. Whisper. That's not current issue. That's old school. Museum piece. Why is she wearing that? Because it worked in the Gulf? Because it worked in places where failure meant death? Because new equipment is for people who don't know if they'll survive to break it in. Sarah's other equipment is laid out with geometric precision. Mk-15 rebreather, same model from 1991. Maintained to a standard that exceeds factory specification. Dive computer, old Sunto analog model with backup gauges. No digital display, no wireless, no connectivity, just depth time and air pressure. The 3 numbers that matter. Knife, K-bar, 7-inch blade, handle worn smooth by decades of use. edge sharp enough to shave with. She tests it on her thumbnail, cuts a thin line. Perfect. Fins. Vintage rocket fins. Heavy, black, rigid. Modern fins are lighter, more efficient. But modern fins are for recreation divers. These fins are for combat, for carrying weight, for pushing through current when failure means capture or death. Jackson approaches, watches her preparation ritual, says nothing, just nods once. Approval from a man who knows. On the other side of the pool, Rawlings and his team are gearing up. Newer equipment, lighter, faster. They look professional, confident. Rawlings is talking, gesturing. His team laughs. Easy confidence of men who have never truly been tested. Lieutenant Commander Hayes stands at the edge of the pool. Clipboard, stopwatch. He's the ranking officer, the judge, the recorder of results. Next to him, Captain Shepard observes. Arms crossed, face neutral. He's here to watch, to evaluate, to decide. Dharamibas. Jackson steps to the pool edge, calls for attention. His voice carries. Today is full qualification retest. Standards have slipped. That ends now. He looks around the assembled unit. 40 soldiers, all combat swimmer qualified, all about to discover if that qualification means anything. 4 tests: navigation, mine disarmament, a confined rescue, equipment failure. You know the standards. Meet them or you retrain. Fail twice, you are out of the program. Groans. This is serious. Requalification means weeks of additional training. Getting kicked out means career impact. No one wants either. Sergeant Rawlings' team, you're up first. Rawlings stands, grins, flexes for the gallery. They laugh. He's performing, playing to the crowd. Sarah watches from across the pool. Makes a mental note. Showboating, compensating for insecurity, will crack under real pressure. Rawlings enters the water with a splash. Deliberate, dramatic. Look at me. See how strong I am. The water churns white around him. Sarah's entry 30 minutes later will create barely a ripple. But no one knows that yet. Test 1, navigation. The navigation course is underwater, 20 meters in zero visibility. Compass bearing, dead reckoning. 3 checkpoints, surface at target point. 3-minute time limit. Rawlings descends, powerful strokes, aggressive. He disappears into the murky water. The pool is deliberately clouded, suspended particulates. Can't see past your hand. Navigation by instrument only. Hayes watches the monitors. Helmet camera feed. Rawlings is breathing hard already. 22 breaths per minute. Inefficient. Wasting air. Burning energy. He checks his compass. Turns. Starts swimming. The first turn is wrong. 5 degrees off bearing. Small error. But small errors compound. He swims for 40 seconds. Checks compass again. Realizes he's off course. Corrects. Overcorrects. Now 10 degrees the other way. He surfaces at 2 minutes 47 seconds, 20 feet from target point, within acceptable limits, but barely, and his air consumption is high. Tank gauge shows he's used 30% for a 2-minute dive. Terrible efficiency. Jackson marks his score, 7 out of 10. Passing. Not good, just passing. Fisher goes next. Navigation is worse. He panics in the darkness. Surfaces twice for orientation. Time limit exceeded. Fail. Davis completes it, but takes 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Overtime limit. Fail. The crowd murmurs. These are their best swimmers, their squad leaders, and they're barely passing. Some are failing. What does that say about the rest of them? Test 2 mine disarmament, mock mine. 20 meters down, magnetic locks, 3-stage rotary mechanism, 5-minute time limit. Real mines don't give second chances. Neither does this test. Fisher goes first. He fumbles, tries brute force. The mine is designed to punish brute force. He triggers the fail sensor at 3 minutes 30 seconds. In real life, he just exploded his team. In training, he just washed out. Rawlings attempts it. He's better, more methodical, but his hands shake from cold and stress. He completes 2 stages. The 3rd stage requires delicate touch, precise rotation. Feel the click through thick gloves. He rushes, forces it. Fail sensor triggers at 4 minutes 58 seconds. 2 seconds before time limit. Almost successful, but almost exploded. Davis watches both failures, gets nervous. His attempt is tentative, scared. Takes 6 minutes, 12 seconds. Overtime. Fail. Jackson's face is grim. 3 attempts, 3 failures. This program is broken. These men are not ready. They think they are, but thinking and being are different things. The difference is measured in body bags. Test 3, confined space rescue, vertical entry shaft, 3 feet in diameter, drops 6 meters, 90-degree turn into horizontal tunnel, 2 feet by 2 feet, simulates flooded ship compartment, victim at end, 50-pound dummy with harness, extracted, time limit 8 minutes. This is the nightmare scenario, the one that triggers claustrophobia, the one where strong swimmers crack, where panic lives. Rawlings volunteers. Alpha male. Can't let his team's failures define him. He enters the shaft, descends head first. The shaft is tight. His shoulders scrape the sides. The sound carries through the water. Metal on concrete. He reaches the turn, has to exhale completely to fit his chest through the angle. The human body is mostly water, but lungs are air and air takes space. Empty lungs, smaller profile. He makes the turn. Breathing rate spikes. 30 breaths per minute. Racing. He's scared but pushing through. Good. Fear with discipline is useful. Fear without discipline is fatal. He reaches the dummy, grabs the harness, tries to drag it. But the tunnel is too narrow. He can't pull it behind him. The standard technique doesn't work here. He pulls harder. The dummy wedges in the corner. Stuck. Rawlings' breathing accelerates. 35. 40. He's approaching hyperventilation. Jackson watches the monitor, finger hovering over the emergency recall button. Rawlings is seconds from panic, but he forces himself calm. Think. Adapt. He rolls the dummy onto its side, pushes instead of pulls, inches it forward. Slow, so slow, but moving. He backs out of the tunnel, pushes the dummy ahead of him. Revolutionary thinking, simple, effective. He surfaces at 7 minutes, 54 seconds, 6 seconds under limit, gasping, exhausted, but successful. Jackson marks the score, 8 out of 10. Good. Finally something good. But Rawlings looks broken. The test took everything he had. His confidence is gone, replaced by respect for the difficulty, for the standards, for what this job actually demands. Test 4, equipment failure. Random failure at depth, no warning. Emergency protocols, surface safely, no time limit, pass or fail, live or die. Rawlings descends to 20 meters. Jackson triggers the failure. Complete air shutoff. Every diver's nightmare. Rawlings' tank pressure drops to 0 in 3 seconds. Alarm sound on his equipment. His eyes go wide. Sarah can see it on the monitor. The moment of naked fear. The animal brain screaming surface now. The desperate need to breathe. But Rawlings fights it. He's learned. He doesn't panic. He closes his eyes, slows his heart rate, activates emergency protocol, skip breathing, using residual air in his lungs in the rebreather reservoir. He has maybe 90 seconds of air left if he's perfect. He ascends, but too fast. Breaks surface at 40 seconds. Gasping. Alive. But violating decompression protocols. In real life, he just gave himself the bends. Maybe survivable, maybe permanently crippling, maybe fatal. Jackson marks it, 5 out of 10. Technical pass because he survived. Real fail because he broke protocols. Fisher and Davis don't even attempt it. They're already disqualified from earlier failures. They'll retrain, they'll try again. But today they failed. The crowd is silent now. The easy confidence is gone. They just watch their best struggle and fail. What does that mean for them? Jackson looks at Hayes. Hayes nods. Time for the finale. Master Chief Mitchell, you're up. Sarah stands. She has been sitting motionless for 30 minutes. Watching, learning, absorbing. She moves to the pool edge. Every eye in the facility follows her. Rawlings watches from the side. His face is exhausted, defeated, curious. Who is this woman really? Sarah's preparation ritual takes 2 minutes. She checks every seal, tests every gauge, inspects her rebreather with surgeon's precision. Her fingers move with practiced speed, muscle memory from 10,000 dives. Jackson approaches quietly. You don't have to destroy them. Just pass. Make your point. Sarah looks at him, gray eyes flat as stones. The point is not passing. The point is the standard. She enters the water like a knife. Minimal entry, barely a splash. She disappears beneath the surface. The water goes still, glass smooth, as if she was never there. On the monitors, her helmet camera shows the murky darkness. She descends. Her breathing is slow, methodical. 8 breaths per minute, combat swimmer rate. The rate of someone whose body is a weapon and whose mind controls it absolutely. Navigation test. She checks her compass once. Orients, swims. No course corrections, no checking. She moves through the darkness like she owns it. Like it's not an obstacle, but an ally. She surfaces at target point at 1 minute 38 seconds. Perfect navigation. Half the time limit. A quarter of Rawlings' air consumption. The crowd murmurs, that's not possible. No one navigates that clean. That fast, that perfect. But the monitors don't lie. Jackson marks the score. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Mind disarmament. Sarah approaches the mock device. She doesn't rush, doesn't fumble. Her hands move with absolute confidence. She knows this mine. She's disarmed real ones. Soviet PMR-3 replicas. She completed 16 underwater demolition missions in 3 different wars. This is not a test. This is Tuesday. Stage 1. Counterclockwise 90 degrees. She feels the click through her gloves. Stage 2. Clockwise 180 degrees. Click. Stage 3. Straight pull. The mechanism releases. Disarmed. Time 41 seconds. Hayes has to check his stopwatch twice. Fisher took 3.5 minutes. Sarah did it in 41 seconds. That's not human. That's machine precision. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Confined space rescue. Sarah inverts at the entry shaft, descends head first. Her body flows through the tight space like water. No scraping, no struggle. She makes the turn with a gymnast's grace, reaches the dummy, and here's where she does something no one has ever seen. She doesn't pull it, doesn't push it. She rolls it under her, uses her body as a shield above, pushes forward through the alternate exit, the maintenance tunnel that's supposed to be a secret, the instructor's shortcut that no one is supposed to know exists. She emerges at the opposite end of the pool. 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Perfect technique, perfect time. And she found the hidden path. Jackson stares. How did she? Hayes shakes his head. That access tunnel isn't on the schematics. It's not supposed to be discoverable. She discovered it. Jackson's voice carries awe and something like fear. Because only one type of person finds hidden things. Only one type of person thinks to look. Operators, real operators. The kind who survive impossible missions because they see what others miss. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Equipment failure test. Sarah descends to 20 meters. Jackson triggers total air shutoff. Her tank pressure flatlines. 0. Sarah's heart rate on the monitor doesn't change. 58 beats per minute. She closes her eyes, not from fear, from conservation. Vision uses oxygen. She doesn't need vision. She needs discipline. She activates skip breathing, but not the desperate version Rawlings used. The controlled version. The version taught in classified programs. She inhales from residual air, holds for 30 seconds, not 3, 30. Partial exhale, repeat. Her metabolism slows. Her body enters a state that's not quite meditation, but not quite normal consciousness. Combat hibernation. The secret technique of deep infiltration specialists. She uses 60 seconds of air to buy 90 seconds of time. Then she ascends. Not fast, slow, controlled. Perfect buoyancy management. Safety stop at 5 meters. Proper decompression. Everything by the book. Everything perfect. She surfaces at 2 minutes 11 seconds. Removes her regulator. Her breathing is normal. 58 beats per minute, like she just took a stroll. Equipment failure recovered, she says. The pool facility is silent, absolutely silent. 40 soldiers staring, unable to process what they just witnessed. Rawlings looks like he's seen a ghost, because maybe he has. Jackson walks to the pool edge. His hands are shaking. He's been a dive instructor for 4 decades. He's trained thousands. He's never seen anything like this. He picks up his clipboard. His voice cracks slightly as he speaks. Master Chief Mitchell, navigation 1 minute 38. Record time. Mine disarmament 41 seconds. Record time. Confined rescue 4 minutes 22. Recorded time. Equipment failure passed with perfect protocol. He looks up at the assembled unit. Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed perfection. He turns to Rawlings. His voice is harder now. Sergeant, you said no one could ace all 4 tests. You were wrong. She didn't ace them. She destroyed them. Jackson calls everyone to attention. They stand, uncertain, confused. Their worldview is cracking. The woman they mocked yesterday just performed at a level they can't comprehend. Master Chief Mitchell is not a contractor. She is a Navy SEAL retired, 20 years Naval Special Warfare Development Group, 189 combat missions. His voice rises, carries through the facility. She is the standard. She is the legend. You will address her with the respect she has earned. But Jackson isn't done. He walks to Sarah, removes something from his pocket. It's a photograph, worn, faded, 1991, Persian Gulf. 2 faces visible. Young Sarah, young Jackson. This is us, Persian Gulf. You saved my life that day. I never forgot. He hands her something else. An old unit patch. SEAL Team Golf. Your team. I kept this, waiting for you to come back. Sarah takes the patch. Her hand closes around it. For 1 second, just one, the mask cracks. Emotion shows, raw, real. She looks at the patch, sees the 3 faces that are gone, the brothers who didn't make it home, the ghost she carries. 3 down, Jackson, just us left. Then we make a fair sacrifice matter. We train these kids right. Sarah nods once. The mask returns. But everyone saw. For one, when the legend was human. And somehow that makes her more terrifying, not less. In the back of the gallery, Marcus Webb watches on a security monitor. His face is pale. His plan is crumbling. Sarah Mitchell isn't just good. She's transcendent. And now the entire unit knows it. She can't be discredited through whispers and rumors now. She's proven herself in the most public way possible. Webb's hands clench into fists. He needs a new plan, fast. He pulls out his phone, sends a message to Rawlings. We need to talk. Education Center. Now. But Rawlings doesn't respond because Rawlings is standing in the gallery staring at Sarah Mitchell, trying to reconcile the woman he choked yesterday with the legend he just witnessed today. And for the first time in his life, Dean Rawlings understands what real humility feels like. The command building is 3 stories of concrete and authority. Inside, the air conditioning runs too cold. Fluorescent lights buzz with that particular frequency that makes everything feel sterile and permanent. The hallways smell of floor wax and old coffee. This is where careers are made and destroyed, where justice is administered with military precision. Lieutenant Commander Hayes sits in his office reviewing footage for the 3rd time. The changing room assault plays on his screen. He sees everything. Rawlings drunk, the intrusion into the women's facility, the shove, the choke, Sarah's perfect counter, the whole sequence from beginning to end. His jaw tightens. This is not complicated. This is assault. Clear, documented, irrefutable. But there are complications. Political complications. Because Rawlings comes from a military family. Because false accusations have been filed. Because someone corrupted the original footage and Hayes wants to know who. Captain Shepard enters without knocking. He's the commanding officer. He doesn't need to knock. Tell me you have enough, Shepard says. Hayes nods. Video evidence, timeline discrepancies. Master Chief Mitchell filed her report 12 minutes after the incident. Rawlings filed his complaint 6 hours later. The timestamps prove she documented first. She's telling the truth. And Rawlings committed perjury, filed false official charges, Assaulted a superior officer. Hayes pauses. Sir, there's more. The video footage was deliberately corrupted by someone with access to our security systems. I had Ite trace it. Shepard sits. His face is stone. Continue. The intrusion came from the education center. Computer lab. Timestamp matches exactly when the corruption occurred. Only one person was logged in at that terminal. Hayes slides a file across the desk. Civilian contractor, Marcus Webb, works for Redstone Technical Solutions. Shepard opens the file, reads. His expression darkens with each line. Webb was former Naval Intelligence, dishonorably discharged 2018. Testified against by, he looks up, by Commander Sarah Mitchell. Yes, sir. He leaked classified SEAL operation details to a journalist. 2 operators died as a result. Master Chief Mitchell was the senior SEAL who discovered the leak and testified at his court-martial. So this is revenge. Yes, sir. Webb has been here 6 months. Same time Redstone got the contract to upgrade our security systems, which means he has access to everything. Personnel files, training protocols, communications, everything. Shepard closes the file. His voice is quiet, dangerous. How much has been compromised? Unknown, sir, but it found evidence of unauthorized data transfers, small amounts. Over time, he's been selling our training protocols. I think Master Chief Mitchell's real mission was to identify the leak, and Webb knew it. So he tried to get her removed first. Using Rawlings. Yes, sir, we found communications between Webb and Rawlings, encrypted, but IT broke them. Webb paid Rawlings $5,000 to monitor Master Chief Mitchell, to harass her, to create an incident that would get her removed. Shepard stands, walks to the window, looks out at the base, his command, compromised by a traitor seeking revenge. Soldiers turned into pawns, a legend disrespected and assaulted because one man couldn't let go of his hatred. Convene a captain's mast, he says. Formal hearing tomorrow morning. I want everyone present, the whole unit. They need to see what happens when discipline fails, when standards collapse. He turns to Hayes. And get federal agents here. If Webb's been selling classified training data, this is beyond military justice. This is espionage. Hayes nods, leaves, begins making calls. Outside the building 200 yards away, Dean Rawlings stands in the shadow of the motor pool. His phone buzzes. Another message from Webb, the 4th today. Each more urgent than the last. We need to talk. Education Center. Now. Rawlings stares at the message. For 2 days, he's been drowning in regret. The changing room plays on loop in his mind. He sees Sarah's gray eyes, sees her absorb his shove without moving, sees her break his choke like he's a child. And then he sees her in the pool, moving like water itself, performing miracles of skill and discipline, proving that everything he thought about strength and competence was wrong. He was a fool, a drunk, arrogant fool who let someone manipulate him into attacking a living legend. And now Webb wants to talk. Webb who paid him, Webb who used him, Webb who turned him into this. Rawlings makes a decision. He walks toward the education center, but not to meet Webb, to turn him in. It's too late to undo the assault, too late to take back the false complaint. But maybe he can do one thing right. Maybe he can stop being a pawn and start being a man. The education center is a low building near the base library, computer labs, classrooms, study rooms. Webb has an office on the 2nd floor. IT specialist, access to everything. Rawlings takes the stairs 2 at a time. His heart pounds, not from exertion, from fear, from understanding that his life is about to change forever. Webb's office door is open. He's at his computer, typing rapidly. His face is pale, stressed. When Rawlings enters, Webb spins around. Relief floods his features. Finally, I've been trying to reach you for hours. Webb gestures to a chair. Sit. We need to establish our story before the hearing. There is no our story, Rawlings says. His voice is steady, calm. He's made his choice. There's the truth. I assaulted Master Chief Mitchell. You paid me to do it. I'm turning myself in, and I'm turning you in too. Webb's expression shifts. Relief becomes calculation. Dean, think about what you're saying. If you admit assault, you're looking at a court-martial. Dishonorable discharge, prison time. Your life is over. My life is over either way, but at least this way I end it with some dignity. Dignity, Webb laughs. It's an ugly sound. You choked a woman in a changing room. There's no dignity in that, but there is survival. We stick to the story. She attacked you. We both testify. It's our word against hers, 2 against 1. Except there's video evidence. Webb's smile is cold. No, there isn't. I corrupted the footage, made sure it was unrecoverable. The cameras show nothing. It's your word against hers now. And you're a sergeant with a clean record. She's a contractor with an attitude problem. Who do you think they'll believe? Rawlings stares at him. You corrupted evidence. That's a federal crime. Only if they can prove it, which they can't. The corruption looks like a system malfunction. Happens all the time. Webb leans forward. Dean, listen to me. I've been protecting you, protecting us. But I need you to commit. File an official statement. Double down on the complaint. Make this about her instability, her aggression, her inability to follow regulations. We bury her together. Then we both walk away clean. Why? Rawlings' voice rises. Why do you hate her so much? What did she do to you? Webb's face hardens. She destroyed my career. 6 years ago, I was naval intelligence, good at my job. Then she decides I leaked some operational details to a journalist, gets me court-martialed, dishonorably discharged, ruins my life. All because she's some perfect operator who never makes mistakes and can't understand that sometimes the public needs to know what their military is really doing. You got SEALs killed. That was never proven. Webb slams his hand on the desk. She testified I did, but she had no evidence, just her word, her sterling reputation. And the court believed her. They always believe her because she's Sarah fucking Mitchell, legend, hero, untouchable. Well, not anymore. Now she's just another washed-up contractor who attacked a soldier. And I'm going to make sure everyone believes it. Behind Webb, the door opens quietly. Captain Shepard enters. Lieutenant Commander Hayes follows. Behind them, 2 federal agents in dark suits. They've been listening from the hallway, listening to everything. Webb's confession, his admission of evidence tampering, his hatred, his plan. Webb sees them, his face goes white. He reaches for his keyboard, probably to delete files, to destroy evidence. But Hayes moves fast, grabs his hands, pulls them away from the computer. Marcus Webb, Shepard's voice is cold iron. You're under arrest for conspiracy, unauthorized access to classified systems, evidence tampering, and espionage. One of the federal agents steps forward, badge held high, Department of Defense Inspector General. We've been monitoring your communications for 3 weeks, Mr. Webb. We have evidence of you selling classified training protocols to foreign buyers. We have financial records, data transfers, everything. Webb's mouth opens, closes, opens again. You can't. I have rights. You had rights. You gave them up when you committed treason. The agent nods to his partner. They move forward with handcuffs. Shepard turns to Rawlings. His expression is unreadable. Sergeant Rawlings, or should I say Private Rawlings, because that's what you're about to become. You are confined to quarters pending formal hearing tomorrow morning. Dismissed. Rawlings doesn't argue, doesn't defend himself, just nods, walks out. His career is over. He knows it. But at least he tried to do the right thing at the end. At least he stopped being a pawn. In the hallway, he passes Sarah Mitchell. She's standing there, watching. She must have heard everything. Their eyes meet. He wants to apologize, wants to explain, wants to beg forgiveness. But Sarah just looks at him, gray eyes measuring, recording, and then she nods once, not forgiveness, not absolution, just acknowledgement. You made a choice. Too late. But you made it. That will have to be enough. Rawlings continues down the hall. Sarah watches him go, then enters Webb's office. She looks at the man who spent 6 years planning revenge against her. The man who corrupted soldiers and sold secrets and nearly destroyed her mission. The man who couldn't accept that he was wrong. Webb stares at her, hatred in his eyes. Even now, even caught, even finished. You should have stayed retired, he spits. You should have stayed away. Sarah's voice is quiet, patient. You killed two operators, Marcus, Jackson and Chen. Afghanistan 2018. The journalists you gave information to published their location. Taliban hit their safe house. They died because you wanted to make a point. That was never proven. It's proven now. The Inspector General has all your communications, including the ones where you admit it, including the ones where you tell the journalist exactly where to find them. She steps closer. You didn't just leak classified information. You murdered your own people, and then you blame me for exposing you. Webb says nothing. His face is stone. Redemption was possible, Sarah continues, even after the discharge. You could have rebuilt, found a new path. Instead, you spent 6 years nursing hatred, corrupting good soldiers, selling out your country, all for revenge against someone who was just doing her job. My job was important too. Your job was support. My job was operations. You supported by protecting information. You failed. 2 men died. That's not my fault. That's yours. And you've spent 6 years proving you'll never accept responsibility. The federal agents lead Webb out. He doesn't look back, doesn't speak, just walks. A traitor escorted away. A man who had everything and threw it away for pride and hatred. Sarah stands in the empty office, alone. For a moment, the mask slips. Her shoulders sag. The exhaustion of 2 days catches up. She's 40 years old, not 28, not young, not invincible, just tired, so tired. But then she straightens. The mission isn't over. Tomorrow's hearing will establish truth, will assign justice, will restore order. Until then, she continues. She walks out of the education center into the Colorado sun. It's late afternoon. Golden light angles across the base. Soldiers move through their duties. The machinery of military life continues, unaware that a traitor has been caught, that justice is coming, that tomorrow everything changes. Day 4, 0800 hours. The briefing room is too small for what it contains. 40 soldiers packed into a space designed for 20. Standing room only. The walls seem to contract under the weight of anticipation. Everyone knows something significant is happening. Rumors have spread all night. Webb arrested, Rawlings confined. The legend proven true. At the front of the room, a mahogany table serves as judge's bench. Captain Shepard sits at center. Lieutenant Commander Hayes to his right, Master Gunnery Sergeant Jackson to his left. Flags behind them, American flag, base colors, the symbols of authority and tradition. On one side of the room, Sarah sits alone. Dress uniform, perfect creases, ribbons stacked in neat rows, 3 Navy crosses, 2 silver stars, bronze star with V device, purple heart, the fruit salad of a career spent in violence and excellence. No one in the room has more. No one in the room is close. On the other side, Rawlings sits with Fisher and Davis. They're in dress uniforms too, but theirs look like costumes, like children playing soldier. Next to Sarah's weathered authority, they are revealed as exactly what they are, young, untested, arrogant until yesterday. Shepard calls the room to attention. Everyone stands. He waits until the silence is complete, then nods. They sit. This is a captain's mast, a non-judicial hearing to address serious misconduct. The proceedings will be formal and to the point. His voice carries command without needing volume. Commander Hayes present the findings. Hayes stands, opens his tablet. The screen behind him illuminates. Video footage begins to play. The changing room, the assault, the perfect clarity of security cameras recording truth. The room watches in silence. They see Rawlings drunk, see him enter the women's facility, see Sarah alone preparing equipment, see the confrontation, the shove, the choke, her perfect counter, the whole sequence playing out in grainy surveillance footage. When the video ends, the silence is profound. 40 soldiers just watched their sergeant commit assault, watched him lie about it, watched the truth expose him. Hayes' voice is clinical, unemotional. The video evidence is conclusive. It shows Sergeant Rawlings committing unprovoked aggravated assault. It shows specialists Fisher and Davis failing to intervene. It proves their subsequent sworn statements were deliberate fabrications intended to mislead this command and pervert justice. He clicks to the next slide. Audio waveforms appear. This is audio from the incident. You will note Sergeant Rawlings' verbal harassment, his escalating aggression, Master Chief Mitchell's minimal response. At no point does she provoke. At no point does she initiate violence. She defends herself with minimal force and leaves immediately. Another slide. Timestamps. Master Chief Mitchell filed her incident report at 1710 Zulu, 12 minutes after the event. Sergeant Rawlings filed his false complaint at 2247 Zulu, 6 hours later. The timeline proves who is telling the truth. Final slide. Webb's arrest photo. Civilian contractor Marcus Webb has been arrested by federal agents for espionage evidence, tampering, and conspiracy. He paid Sergeant Rawlings $5,000 to harass and provoke Master Chief Mitchell. He corrupted security footage to hide evidence. He used this unit's personnel as pawns in a personal vendetta. Hayes sits. The presentation is complete. The evidence overwhelming. Shepard looks at Rawlings. Sergeant Rawlings, do you have anything to say in your defense? Rawlings stands. His face is pale, drawn. He's aged 5 years and 2 days. Sir, I have no defense. I assaulted Master Chief Mitchell. I filed false charges. I accepted money from a traitor to compromise her mission. I did all of it. I'm guilty. The room is silent, waiting for excuses, for justifications. But Rawlings offers none. I thought I was strong, he continues. His voice cracks. I thought my service, my rank, my training made me a warrior. But I was wrong. I was a peacetime soldier playing at war. And when I met a real warrior, I didn't recognize her. I saw an older woman and assumed weakness. I was threatened by her quiet competence because it revealed my loud incompetence. He looks at Sarah. She meets his eyes. No anger there, no triumph, just patient observation. Master Chief Mitchell, I'm sorry. Those words are inadequate, but they're all I have. You didn't deserve what I did. You didn't deserve any of it. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to become the kind of man who would never do that again. Sarah says nothing, just nods once. Acknowledgement received. Shepard's voice is cold. Your apology is noted. It changes nothing. The assault occurred. The false charges were filed. The betrayal was committed. He picks up a document, reads from it formally. Private Dean Rawlings, you are found guilty of assault on a superior officer making false official statements and conspiracy. You are hereby reduced in rank to Private E1. You are sentenced to 6 months confinement, forfeiture of pay, and upon completion, bad conduct, discharge suspended pending successful completion of rehabilitation program. Rawlings accepts the judgment. No protest, no appeal, just acceptance. Specialist Owen Fisher, failure to intervene, false official statement, reduced to Private E2, 60 days extra duty, 60 days restriction. Fisher nods, tears in his eyes. Specialist Brian Davis, failure to intervene, false official statement, reduced to Private E2, 60 days extra duty, 60 days restriction. Davis accepts it, relief visible on his face. It could have been worse, much worse. Shepard stands. The room stands with him. This unit has tolerated mediocrity disguised as camaraderie. That ends today. We are not a social club. We are combat operators. Our standards must reflect that reality. Failure to meet standards means people die. Not in training, in the field, where there are no second chances. He gestures to Sarah. Master Chief Mitchell, please stand. Sarah stands, ramrod posture, hands at her sides, parade rest without being told. Shepard's voice changes, softens slightly. Master Chief, your full service record has been unsealed by Naval Special Warfare Command. With your permission, I will read relevant portions to this command. Sarah nods once. Shepard reads from his tablet. His voice carries reverence now. Commander Sarah Mitchell, United States Navy, retired. 20 years active duty, Naval Special Warfare Development Group. 189 direct action missions. 12 combat deployments. Desert Storm 1991. Bosnia 1996. Afghanistan 2001-2002. 2004-2005. 2007-2008. Iraq 2003-2007. The list continues. Years of service. countries whose names most soldiers can't pronounce, missions that don't officially exist, expert qualifications, combat swimmer, close quarters, battle high altitude, low opening insertion, underwater demolition, intelligence collection, survival evasion resistance escape. Shepard looks up. That list continues for another page. I'll spare you the complete reading. He turns to the room. The woman you call a contractor is one of the most decorated special operators in American military history. The woman you mocked has done things you can't imagine. The woman who was assaulted in a changing room has more combat experience than everyone in this room combined. The weight of those words settles on the assembled soldiers. Some look ashamed, others look awed. All of them understand they've been in the presence of legend without knowing it. Master Chief Mitchell was sent here by Naval Special Warfare Command to evaluate this program. Because our recent graduates are dying in the field, 3 killed, 2 captured, and all in the last 8 months, all because their training was insufficient, because our standards had dropped, because we prioritized feelings over reality. Shepard's voice hardens. That ends now. Effective immediately, Master Chief Mitchell is the new senior combat swimmer instructor. Master Gunnery Sergeant Jackson will remain as her deputy until his retirement. You will train under her standards. You will meet her expectations. Or you will be removed from this program. The door opens. Everyone turns. A woman enters. 4 stars on her shoulders. Admiral Patricia Vance, Naval Special Warfare Command. She's 60. Gray hair, hard eyes that have seen everything and judged it all. She walks with the authority of someone who has earned the right to enter any room unannounced. Shepard calls attention. Everyone snaps to. Sarah's salute is crisp, perfect, held exactly the regulation 3 seconds. Admiral Vance returns the salute. At ease. She walks to Sarah, stops directly in front of her. Master Chief Mitchell, I've read your service record, all of it, including the classified portions. I've reviewed the incident that occurred here. I've watched your dive qualification performance. She pauses. The room is silent, waiting. On behalf of Naval Special Warfare Command and the United States Navy, I apologize. You should never have been subjected to what happened here. You should never have had your competence questioned, your authority undermined, your person violated. The Admiral removes something from her pocket, a metal case, opens it. Inside, the Navy and Marine Corps Medal, awarded for heroism not involving combat, for maintaining honor when honor would have been easy to abandon, for your actions in maintaining composure under assault, upholding the highest standards of naval professionalism in the face of false accusations, and demonstrating through personal example what it means to be a silent professional. The Admiral pins the medal to Sarah's uniform. The Navy is honored to have you back, Master Chief. Sarah's eyes shine. One tear tracks down her cheek. Only one, Shyam, but it's enough. For 30 years, she's maintained the mask. For 30 years, she's been strong without showing weakness. But this moment breaks through, just for a second, just enough to prove she's human under the legend. The room erupts in applause. 40 soldiers standing, clapping, some crying, all of them understanding they just witnessed something rare. The recognition of excellence by excellence. Legend honoring legend. Admiral Vance steps back, salutes Sarah. Sarah returns it. The Admiral leaves as suddenly as she arrived. Her mission complete. Shepard dismisses the hearing. The soldiers file out, subdued, thoughtful, changed by what they witnessed. Sarah remains standing at attention until the room empties. Then finally she allows herself to breathe. The weight of 2 days lifts slightly. Not gone. Never gone, but manageable. She has work to do, a program to fix, standards to restore, legacy to build. Jackson approaches, holds out his hand. Sarah takes it. The handshake is firm, brief, between equals. Welcome back to the fight, Master Chief. Good to be back, Gunny. They walk out together. 2 warriors, one young in 1991 and now old, one young forever ago and now merely experienced, both carrying the weight of decades, both willing to carry it still. 3 weeks later. The training yard looks different now. Harder, more focused. The easy peacetime confidence is gone, replaced by the grim understanding that training is not a game, that standards exist for reasons written in blood. Sarah stands at the edge of the pool facility, clipboard in hand, watching the new training cycle. 15 students started, 9 remain. The washout rate is brutal, but the 9 who remain are transformed, stronger, smarter, humble enough to learn. Fisher is one of them. He moves differently now, confident without arrogance. He enters the water with precision, navigates with discipline. He's not the best, but he's improving. And improvement is the point. Davis is another. He's learned silence, learned that talking wastes oxygen and reveals position. His dives are clean now, efficient, professional. He'll never be elite, but he'll be competent. And competent soldiers survive. Jackson walks up beside Sarah. They stand in companionable silence, watching, evaluating, adjusting. They're getting better, Jackson says. They're meeting minimum standards. For you, that's high praise. Sarah almost smiles. Almost. For me, that's reality. Jackson hands her something. An envelope. Retirement orders. His ceremony is tomorrow. 42 years of service ending. Cold War through War on Terror. The long arc of American military history witnessed and participated in by one man. I'm proud of what we built here, Jackson says. In 3 weeks, you've transformed this program, changed the culture, restored standards. These kids will survive now because you taught them how. You helped. I assisted. You led. There's a difference. Jackson looks at her. What about you? After I'm gone, after the evaluation is complete, will you stay or disappear again? Sarah doesn't answer immediately. She watches the divers in the pool, watches them struggle and improve, watches them become what they need to be. I don't know, she says finally. The mission was to evaluate, identify failures, report findings, mission accomplished. The mission was also to fix what's broken. That takes longer than 6 weeks. Maybe. Jackson nods. He knows better than to push. Sarah Mitchell doesn't respond to pressure. She responds to duty, and duty will tell her where she's needed. The next day, Jackson's retirement ceremony is formal and moving. Flags, speeches, medals. 42 years of service recognized and honored. Captain Shepard presents him with a shadow box. Inside his insignia, his badges, his dive wings, the physical symbols of a life spent in service. Jackson's speech is brief. I've trained thousands of divers. I've seen the best and the worst. The best wasn't the strongest or the fastest. The best was the most disciplined, the most professional, the most committed to excellence. He looks at Sarah in the audience. Master Chief Mitchell represents that ideal. She saved my life in 1991. She saved this program in 2021. Same woman, same standard. 30 years of unwavering excellence. Continue what she's building, make it last. He presents Sarah with his original dive badge, the one from 1983, worn, tarnished, precious. Continue the legacy, make them worthy. Sarah accepts it. Her voice is quiet but carries. I will, Gunny, I promise. The military prison is clean but oppressive, concrete and steel and the weight of consequences. Dean Rawlings sits in the common area, work detail completed for the day. He's lost 20 pounds, not from lack of food, from work, from discipline, from finally understanding what real training feels like. He's reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Sarah brought it to him during her first visit 6 weeks ago. He's read it 3 times now. Each reading reveals new layers, new understanding, not about tactics, about philosophy, about knowing yourself. The guard calls his name. Rawlings, visitor. He looks up, surprised. Visiting hours were yesterday, but he stands, follows the guard to the visiting room. Sarah sits at a table, 2 chairs, a window, nothing else. She's in civilian clothes, jeans, simple shirt. She looks normal, unremarkable. But Rawlings knows better now. He sits, doesn't speak, waiting for her to set the tone. How are you, Dean? Her voice is neutral, patient. Better, Master Chief. Working, reading, thinking, trying to figure out who I want to be when I get out. Have you figured it out? Not yet, but I know who I don't want to be. I don't want to be the man who choked you, the man who filed false charges, the man who was too arrogant to see his own failures. Sarah nods. That's a start. Knowing what you're running from is step one. Step two is knowing what you're running toward. I don't know that yet. You have 4 months left. Use them, train, study, work. When you get out, if you want a second chance, come find me. RCM. I can't give you back your military career. That's gone. But I can help you find a new path if you're willing to do the work. Rawlings looks at her, really looks, seeing not the woman he assaulted, but the warrior who forgave him, who saw potential in his failure, who offered redemption not because he deserved it, but because someone once offered it to her. Why? His voice cracks. Why would you help me after what I did? Sarah's eyes are distant, remembering. 1989, Bud's training. I failed the pool confidence test, panicked underwater. I was going to be dropped. My instructor, a crusty old SEAL named Mackenzie, took me aside. He said, Mitchell, you have talent. But talent without humility is just arrogance waiting to fail. Choose. Be humble and great, or be arrogant and forgotten. I chose humility. It saved my career, maybe my life. She looks at Rawlings. Someone gave me a second chance when I didn't deserve it. I'm paying it forward, but the choice is yours. You can spend the rest of your life being the man who assaulted a woman, or you can become the man who learned from his worst moment and built something better. Choose. She stands, leaves without waiting for response. The guard escorts Rawlings back to his cell. He sits on his bunk, opens the Sun Tzu, reads the passage she marked, "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." For the first time since the assault, Dean Rawlings thinks maybe, just maybe, enlightenment is possible. 4 months later, graduation day. The parade ground is immaculate. Bleachers filled with families, flags snapping in the Colorado wind. The 9 graduates stand at attention in dress uniforms. They look different from the soldiers who started training 6 months ago. Harder, leaner, more focused. The peacetime softness is gone, replaced by the reality of what they've become. Combat swimmers, not pretenders, not hopeful candidates, actual operators ready for real missions in hostile environments. Jackson watches from the VIP section. Retired now, but invited back for this. His program, his legacy, transformed under Sarah's guidance into something that will save lives. Sarah stands before the graduates. Behind her, Captain Shepard, Lieutenant Commander Hayes, the chain of command, acknowledging excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, families, Sarah's voice carries across the parade ground. The 9 individuals before you have earned the title combat swimmer. They didn't earn it because they're strong. Many strong people fail this course. They earned it because they were disciplined, because they're humble, because they understand the mission is bigger than themselves. She walks down the line, stops at Fisher, presents him with his dive badge. Specialist Fisher, you failed 3 times before you passed, but you never quit. That's what matters. Fisher's hands shake as he accepts the badge. His parents watch from the bleachers, pride in tears. Davis is next. Specialist Davis, you learned silence, you learned efficiency. You learned that the loudest person in the room is rarely the most dangerous. Remember that. Davis pins the badge to his uniform, salutes. Sarah returns it. She continues down the line. Each graduate receives personal recognition, individual acknowledgement. These are not anonymous soldiers. They are warriors she has trained, shaped, prepared for the violence that waits beyond the training ground. After the ceremony, families swarm the graduates. Hugs, photos, celebration. Sarah stands apart, watching, satisfied but not celebrating. This is work, important work, but still work. A young woman approaches, maybe 24, athletic build, nervous energy barely contained, dress uniform, petty officer 2nd class insignia, name tape Jackson. Sarah recognizes the name before the woman speaks. Jackson's granddaughter, Rachel. She has her grandfather's eyes. Master Chief Mitchell. The young woman's voice is respectful, almost reverent. I'm Petty Officer Rachel Jackson, Gunny Jackson's granddaughter. I start combat swimmer training next cycle. I wanted to to ask advice. Sarah studies her, sees determination, sees fear, sees the same fire she saw in herself 40 years ago. Advice. Everyone says it's the hardest course on base. They say I'll wash out. I'm too small, too young, too... She hesitates. Female. But my grandfather told me you proved them wrong, all of them. Your grandfather is biased, but I won't argue with him. Will I make it honestly? Sarah considers the question. The honest answer is probably not. Most don't. The course is designed to break people, to find the limit of discipline and push past it. But Sarah doesn't say that. Instead, she asks, why do you want this? Rachel thinks, really thinks, not giving the answer she thinks Sarah wants, searching for truth. Because my grandfather dedicated his life to being a warrior. He served with honor. I want to honor him by being worthy of his legacy, and I want to prove to myself that I can meet the standard. Not a woman's standard, the standard. Sarah almost smiles. Almost. Then you'll make it. Welcome to the program, Petty Officer Jackson. Rachel's face lights up. She salutes. Sarah returns it. The young woman leaves, practically floating, unaware of the suffering that awaits. The cold water, the exhaustion, the moments when quitting seems easier than continuing. She'll learn. They all do. Jackson walks up, watches his granddaughter disappear into the crowd. You think she'll pass? Yes. That's high praise from you. That's realistic assessment. She has the right motivation. Honoring you, proving herself, not spite, not anger, discipline. She'll suffer, but she'll endure. Jackson nods, silent for a moment. Then, thank you for everything, for coming back, for fixing this, for giving these kids a chance to survive. I didn't do it for them. I did it for the mission. The mission is them, training them, preparing them, sending them into harm's way with the skills to come home. That's always been the mission. Sarah doesn't respond, just watches the celebration, the families, the graduates, the beginning of careers that will take them to dark places and dangerous missions. Some will die. Statistics guarantee it, but they'll die trained, prepared, professional. That's all she can give them. Jackson leaves, returns to his family, his retirement, his well-earned rest. Sarah remains, alone, watching. Her phone buzzes. A message from Naval Special Warfare Command. Master Chief Mitchell. Request your presence in Virginia Beach for debrief and reassignment discussion. Your evaluation report accepted. Training deficiencies corrected. New mission available if interested. Sarah reads it twice. A new mission. More work. More training. More warriors to prepare. The cycle continues. The machine needs operators. She is an operator. Therefore, she serves, but before she responds, she walks to the dive facility. Empty now. Everyone at the celebration. She descends to the pool. The water is still, mirror smooth, reflecting the overhead lights. She sits at the edge, removes her boots, rolls up her pant legs, dangles her feet in the water. The cold is immediate, familiar, comforting. 30 years of her life has been in water like this. Cold, dark, dangerous. Home. She closes her eyes, thinks about the Persian Gulf, about Jackson panicking, about placing her hand on his chest, about teaching him through touch that calm is a choice, that discipline is power, that fear is just another enemy to be defeated through training and will. She thinks about the changing room, about Rawlings's hands on her throat, about the choice she made not to hurt him, to redirect instead of destroy, to document instead of retaliate, because that's what professionals do. They control, they think, they choose. She thinks about the pool qualification, about 40 soldiers watching her move through water like she was born to it, about breaking records that stood for decades, about proving that age is just a number and legends are earned, not given. And she thinks about Rachel Jackson, young, determined, carrying her grandfather's legacy, about to suffer through the same training, about to learn the same lessons, about to discover if she has what it takes. The cycle continues. The mission persists. Warriors train warriors who train warriors. Legacy passed through pain and discipline in the refusal to quit. Sarah opens her eyes, pulls her feet from the water, stands, returns to her phone, types a response. Affirmative. Will report Virginia Beach next week. Ready for reassignment. She sends it. The die is cast. The next mission awaits. She is over 40, not young, not fast anymore, but still disciplined, still professional, still dangerous, still needed. They called her useless. They tried to choke her in a changing room. They didn't know she'd spent 30 years earning the right to be called unbreakable. But here's what she learned. Being unbreakable isn't about being invincible. It's about being disciplined, calm, professional, silent. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most dangerous. The silent one is. The one who's been there, done it, survived it, and has nothing left to prove. She is the silent professional. And now she teaches others to be the same. Not for glory, not for recognition, but because the mission demands it, the country needs it. The next generation deserves it. This is her legacy, and she leaves it in capable hands. Sarah walks out of the dive facility into the Colorado sun. The plaque beside the door catches the light. Jackson Mitchell Combat Swimmer Center. Excellence through discipline. Honor through service. Legacy through mentorship. She nods once. Approval, then walks toward her next mission. Whatever it may be, wherever it leads, because that's what professionals do. They serve, always, without question, without complaint, without end. The silent warrior continues her war, not against enemies abroad, but against mediocrity, against complacency, against the slow erosion of standards that gets warriors killed. And she will win, because she always has, because she has no choice, because the mission demands it. And Master Chief Sarah Mitchell has never failed a mission. Not in 30 years, not now, not ever.